This and every episode of REKT Podcast is brought to you by Beaksy Exchange, an upcoming cryptocurrency exchange built in collaboration with One Market Data. Beaksy is bringing legacy finance speed, power, and sophistication to crypto for the first time. With 225,000 transactions per second per pair, comparable to NASDAQ, 15 order types on day one, with 25 order types on full rollout, and a dedicated customer support team, Beaksy is setting itself apart from the competition. Check out Beaksy today at Beaksy.com and pre-register today at Beaksy.com/registration to get your free Beaksy Exchange tokens. That's Beaksy.com, BEAXY.com.
Great. Hey, how goes it? Kenn Bosack here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. It's 420 somewhere, so you know it's time to get wrecked.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my very special co-host and colleague and birthday boy, Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how are you, buddy? Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. Oh, you know what? It's a good weekend. Had a birthday pump, and now that it's over,
Dump.
it is a post-birthday dump.
So,
But, yeah,
look,
good weekend overall.
You still pump harder than Consensus, that's for sure.
I do. Chamber birthday pump. I love it.
The Chamber
We're going to
birthday
call it
pump
next
is
year,
real.
too.
That's awesome. And without any further ado, a man who knows how to throw a birthday party, Kenn Bosack. How goes it, buddy? How are you?
It goes well, bro. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tell us about your birthday party that you had there in Vegas.
World Crypto Con actually reached out to me and saw I was trying to organize a birthday party with, some of my crypto Twitter friends and stuff, and they were like, yo, your birthday's during our conference. What are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm going to try to do something. And they were like, well, how about we help you out? We'll just invite your friends out. You can have the fun all year. I was like, yeah, Vegas, 30th birthday at a conference. Wait, hold on. Who's going to be there? Yeah, let's do it. So I talked to Adam from World Crypto Con, and he was really awesome. And I actually got to meet him in person at a couple events throughout 2018 that led up to World Crypto Con in Vegas. So I got to really meet the guy and get to know him and get an idea of the event they were putting together. And it was more of a party than it was a conference. And that's what they were talking about. You know, you're coming out to Vegas, it's a conference, but it's a conference within a party instead of usually going to a conference and then going to a party. It was pretty cool what they were doing, so I kind of linked up with what they were doing and reached out to everybody I knew and just said, hey, everybody, come on down to my birthday. And shout out to Crypto Wendio, who really put together an awesome birthday party down in Vegas for me where like 300 people showed up. And
oh my God.
Peter McCormick and me share a birthday, so me and Peter McCormick got to hang
cool.
out and share some drinks and wings at the bar. It was really cool. A lot of people came out to just say happy birthday to me, and it was just overwhelming, humbling, and just I thank you to everybody that was involved.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had Wendy
sure
on. She's awesome, and we've actually had Peter on too. So shout out to those guys. They're awesome. Chamber, how many people came to your birthday?
I was going to say, if you total, I'm not even joking. If you total up every single birthday party I've ever had, I don't think I've had 300 people.
I'd still have the same to say if it wasn't for that birthday party.
That's only I'm 36, so if I average 10 per year, that's 360. I do not average 10 per year.
Come on, even when you were a kid, you didn't have class birthdays.
My birthday's at the end of February. I used to live in rural northern Canada. I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't want to leave the house at the end of February. So
surely not to see you.
A lot of sad chamber cakes.
Oh, dude, speaking of the cake, that was the fucking craziest part of the whole experience. I walked out into the main floor where everybody was in line getting their tickets, and at the end of the night, they had a giant cake with my freaking face imposed on it, and people were eating my face.
That's amazing.
I'm just walking around, and, people don't know who I am. Some of the people do, right, obviously, but there's a lot of people that don't, and they're, looking at their food and looking at me and looking at their food and looking at me, and they're like, I think I got his lip.
This guy tastes delicious.
Right? I'm like,
God.
I'm as sweet as the cake, trust me. But like, I don't know. It was weird. People were coming up to me and like, so who are you? And I'm like, oh, at this point, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm a cake.
Yeah, I'm a cake. That's awesome, man. Well, that sounds like a pretty epic way to celebrate a birthday. We've talked about Vegas many times on this show.
It's happening again, man. Come out, round 2.
I want to go this year, Chamber. We should go.
We should go. I agree.
You know where you got to go? 100% guarantee the best conference party-wise? Coins Bank Cruise. Do it.
Oh, I would like to see Chamber on a cruise.
Facts, bro. Got to do it.
Chamber, are you a cruise? Are you a cruise guy?
I've never been on one.
I've never been on a cruise either, actually.
I don't like the idea of it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. The general idea of a cruise, just getting stuck with people on a
Stuck with people. I mean, I feel like it's more like hostages of conversation. I can walk around and talk about crypto and Bitcoin 24/7 any time of any day, and 80% of the populace is like CEOs of other companies. So it's like, yo, yeah, hey Roger, how you doing at 2 a.m. Because you can't go anywhere, bro. We're in the middle of the Mediterranean.
I don't know if you know this, but my name's Ken.
Because of the implication, you know.
That's right. Because
Roger Bear can't go anywhere because of the implication. That's awesome. Yeah, Chamber, you don't strike me as a cruise guy.
Nah.
You also don't strike me as a general people guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. We have, the crypto space is filled of, it's full of all different kinds of characters. I'm the kind of character that doesn't talk to anybody else. I like to talk to you guys.
Yet you have a podcast with
it's
an
weird
audience that you talk to twice weekly.
It's a paradox, I guess.
This is letting your inner extrovert out.
That's it. That's all I got.
Awesome, man. Well, Ken, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Let's get right into it. So we always like to ask our guests the first time they're on how they got into crypto. You are someone who eats, lives, breathes everything crypto. Where did it all start?
So yeah, origin story. Cool. All right. So I guess I kind of got into the whole idea of investing a couple years ago, around like 2016. I was like, I had a pretty stable job for, like 6 years or so, and I'm like, hey, let's do something. So I was looking at the money I had in my bank, and I was looking at like what it was getting me sitting there, and I was like, well, I'm only being able to buy less stuff with my money over time. This kind of sucks, like the basics. So I actually looked into investing, and I downloaded that TD Ameritrade app. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I kind of went for was cannabis stocks. I was like, yo, wait, I can invest in cannabis without, actually holding cannabis? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's a no-brainer. So I looked into some companies, did my own due diligence, without really knowing much. I didn't have like an investor's mentality, but I looked into companies that had like patents and agricultural like, agreements in certain states and stuff, and I just went for those, and they were like penny stocks, and now they kind of fluctuated, but I did do pretty well. But the whole reason I kind of got into investing to begin was I read an article like 70 or something percent of the U.S. populace don't have $1,000 for an emergency, and I was like that, and it wasn't for a lack of making money. I just spent it as fast as I made it. I never really saved much because, like I said, it gets me less over time. So I was paycheck to paycheck on purpose because of the mentality of my money losing value so rapidly that I started to think, all right, well, now that I'm investing, I kind of had a different mentality of where to sit money and how to spend it differently, and kind of was looking at it, and I thought, hey, I'm going to go and try to do something a little bit more outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to do, more research on something else. And I stumbled across like Snapchat doing an IPO. Again, not, an investor of any means, so I didn't know what that meant. I just, oh, dude, they're, you can invest in them. It's private, cool, whatever, early investment. So I saved up some money, cashed out some of my profits from the cannabis stocks, and this is how much I knew about investing. I took cash to a bank, sat it down, and said, I want to invest in Snapchat.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I couldn't make that shit up, man. I swear I did, but like the banker was looking at me like, what? And I was like, well, I just, I got money and Snapchat, and I can't find it on TD Ameritrade. See, here's my phone. It just ain't there. Can I get it? It's like 5 cents or something, $2, whatever. I don't know. I want it. And they were like, kind of laughed at me, and I learned a pretty valuable lesson for free at the expense of humility at all, So I kind of got a little upset, but I didn't care much. And I saw that when Snapchat went public, they pumped. They went from like the $2, $4 private IPO price range that I was looking at it to like over $20 overnight. And I was on TD Ameritrade, like, that could have been me. So like this whole time I had to be a accredited investor. If I would have just been allowed to invest in this IPO, I would have became an accredited investor overnight. Like,
right.
Why even stop me from the opportunity to begin with if the opportunity itself is there? But if I don't already have had the privilege of been there, I can't get in. It doesn't make any sense. So I got FOMO'd and I bought a bunch, dude. I was like, it's gonna keep pumping. Snapchat to the moon. I looked at, they had like a Winter Olympics contract, and I'm like, what? It's gonna be dope. They're gonna wear spectacles, and Shaun White's gonna do a 1,200,000 flip, and it's just gonna blow up. Watch. And it dumped, and I lost a lot of money. So. No. Dude, I sold everything, man. I was pissed, dude. I took out every dollar from the bank. I sold every stock I had on TD Ameritrade. I sold my Snap for the loss. I just dumped everything, dude. I was using like Robinhood and Acorns and like random apps to save like pennies to do like random stuff. I was just trying my best, and like after that, I just saw I was fighting an uphill battle, and they were just pouring oil all over the path, and it was just against me from the beginning, So I just got vindictive. I had a vendetta. I was just, screw the system. I'm going to buy silver and gold, bro. Watch this. I'm going to buy eggs, bread, and milk with gold. I'm going back to the pirate era. And my buddy that I just got a job with me at the time where I was working, at the time, he was like, dude, there's this thing called an ICO. The Ethereum's doing it. This dude Vitalik's been talking about it. I'm like, who? What? And my buddy's like, watch this video. And some dude with like a unicorn horn on his forehead and a Hello Kitty t-shirt or something's talking about changing the future of the internet. Give him money. I'm good. Nah. But my buddy was like, dude, you don't need to show them any ID, and get basically the fundamentals of how I could have participated and stuff. And like, I was like, whoa, this is interesting. What's Bitcoin? Because like you buy Bitcoin and then you can just send it to them. Nothing can stop you. I found Andreas Antonopoulos, the Internet of Money, and then Vitalik, again, the Internet of Things, and everything kind of clicked. So I went all in on crypto like late 2016, and I sold everything, stocks, every dollar, my TV, my Xbox, my recliner, my entertainment center, my old Game Boy. I sold everything I owned in 2016. I didn't buy anything for me or my girlfriend for Christmas in 2016. Not a dollar was spent on a holiday present. We went all in on crypto, and we were just like, Bitcoin, like, why? Because I can. It's welcoming, it's permissionless, and I went through all the problems that it solves, and I understand the use case for it. And I didn't really think of it much as an investment as much as I thought of it as an exit from the fiat traditional legacy system. I was like, I can exit this system. There was never like an option before. They had a monopoly on everything, banking, cash, transfers of payments, and you had no choice but to opt in. And as soon as I saw Bitcoin with Andreas's like perspective on the Internet of Money, programmable money, digital code that has value that can be manipulated, I was like, dude, you can take a $20 bill and have Banksy draw on it. That $20 bill is worth $20,000 instantly. Put a developer on some Satoshis, it's the same thing. And I'm just like, got it. I'm all in on this. And it was more of a opt out of, screw that system that screwed me, than it was like, I'm going to get rich overnight by investing in this, and I'm going to make more fiat, and then I'm going to go back and buy stocks. Like, no, that was not my mentality.
That's a good story.
Purist.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. I first got into crypto early 2017, probably around this time, February, March, and there wasn't a ton of what I thought good good content. I was looking to, listen to a podcast and all that kind of stuff, and there wasn't a ton out there at the time. Now you literally can't go to the next room without tripping over a crypto podcast, and here we are. But it's funny, you were actually one of the first people I listened to, actually, because I found the Bitcoin Podcast Network, and you were doing, I think you had probably just started around doing it with them at that time, the Not Another Bitcoin podcast, and I was listening to that. So you were actually one of the first people I ever heard that introduced me kind of to crypto, which was pretty cool.
Crazy.
Wow, dude, that is pretty cool, man. I love that. I love those guys. The Bitcoin podcasts, they were kind of like my first on-ramp into understanding crypto. Besides Andreas and Vitalik, like that was I went to their first episode, listened all the way up to current date, and with all the information that they kind of provided, and I kind of backtracked on like when they were talking about it all the way up to the day of their like most recent, I was just like, whoa. Like, yeah, these guys have been around way before all this, like, hype.
Oh, yeah.
And, big shout out to Corey, D, Cello, and all those guys. And, I ended up not working with them after a while because of my recklessness in this space. I didn't want to kind of tarnish their reputation by me running around calling out scammers at Consensus and getting kicked out of conferences. Like, so we kind of, like, distanced.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's how I found you. That's how I found them, actually. And I what I liked about the difference between the two of you was, they were talking stuff that was far over my head at the time, and on the contrary, you were kind of making it easy for somebody who was newer. You know what I mean? So it was good stuff. But tell us about that Consensus story.
Consensus. Consensus. I mean, CoinDesk did their best, I think. I don't know. All right, so first off, no, I did not pay for my ticket to enter Consensus. I did sneak in. I actually helped dozens of people sneak in. I have stacks of tickets in my closet to prove it. It's just I didn't see a sense in paying $3,000, $4,000 to get into a conference that they should have paid me $3,000 to be advertised to so heavily. So I wasn't going to do it. It's like paying for cable and 80% of your content's ads. That was Consensus. Why would I pay to be advertised and marketed to so heavily? Mm-hmm. And it was one of those weird experiences because I walked around the venue and they had an entire room for Ripple. It was insane.
The Ripple room.
No, dude, it was like a Shark Tank environment. It was intentionally set up to look more corporate, and they had like a desk person just chilling out front for no reason. Like, it was just bougie. They had no purpose. They just wanted to have a secretary in the middle of the conference out front of their door. So they did. And I went in and, explained how it was kind of a scam, and they kicked me out of their room, and I was just like, but you're a scam. How are you here? And I was, kind of just walking around picking on different projects. And it was just, dude, it was a shit show. It really was a giant shit show. And I was walking around kind of just filming nonchalantly, like, because I live streamed me kind of on Twitter sneaking into Consensus. I was like, hey guys, you want to see how I sneak into a conference? I had my phone out and I was doing it on a selfie stick, and the security guy was like, your badge? And I was like, I'm streaming, and I just kept walking. You know what I mean? And like, he's making like $10 an hour. He ain't fucking stopping me. I paid $3,000 to be here, as far as he knows.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, stop me. I want to talk to your manager. So I kind of put on that persona, like, I belong here. Don't fuck with me, and it works. And I was walking around and just saw this guy that I actually was with. I worked with him in a sense. I interviewed him in a podcast, and I flew out to his launch party. That's as far as, the working went. Never paid me because I called it out as a scam the day as the token launched. But I saw this guy, Sean Kurtz, just walking around Consensus with a speaker badge. And I was like, this dude's a scammer. Like, I went off. I'm like, there's no way this dude's here. Yo, everybody, this dude's a scammer. And I kind of went off and called him a big-ass little midget. And... I don't know, dude. He was threatening to fight me on Facebook like the day before. If he ever sees me, he's gonna hit me. And I was just like, I kind of hope he hits me because this is gonna go viral. I'm gonna be famous. Ellen DeGeneres gonna have me on her show. Like,
she's gonna give me a bunch of Ripple.
Yeah, Ripple.
Nice. That was
So
good.
security came over and was like, "Where's your badge?" And I was like, "Here." And it had nothing on it because it was a blank badge. I just grabbed off the counter because I snuck in. So they were like, "Get out of here!" And they gripped me up and threw me out. And they called the cops. So I hopped in an Uber and literally drove out of the state, went right to New Jersey.
That is a story for sure, man. What was the project that was a scam, and why was it such?
Clout.io, and the team
Sounds legit.
The concept was cool because at the time, that was like the day of the demonetization of everybody's YouTube channels that was making, podcasts.
Okay.
Before there was like a Bitcoin podcast bubble that we're in. It was pretty lucrative to have just a couple hundred to thousands of views on your YouTube channel, podcast interviews. And then we were demonetized, and this company came out like, "Hey, we're going to blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Cool. Let me check this out." So I reached out to them because I ran into their project because I had a problem with YouTube demonetizing me. I was searching for decentralized ways to monetize. And so I was like, "Hey, come on my show. I found your project." He came on the podcast. I interviewed him. And then after the interview, he was like, "Yo, thanks. I see that you're really in a position. This is like right for you. Like, this is what we're building it for. Come out to the launch party." I went to the launch party, and the team was... I want to say the team had everything. Like, they didn't know that this guy was just like going to intentionally screw people over. The team was like working hard, like some of the team, but like the higher ups, the leaderships, I just saw them doing a bunch of blow and just like getting drunk. And their smart contract developer was coming back with problems. And I was watching the token launch on the website, and the contracts weren't being triggered. There wasn't being tokens distributed from ETH deliveries. And the next morning, there was just so much that I seen from that. I just got up, booked a flight out of Vegas, and went home, and kind of was like, "Yo, it's a scam. Like, this dude's just straight up cashing out on this ETH. I had never seen anything like it." I was so like in shock that I seen something like that happen firsthand. I was a part firsthand. Like, I was the influence. I was supposed to do the media, and I'm just sitting here like, if I take a picture right now, you're all going to jail. Like, I can't promote this shit. Like, why am I even fucking here? They wouldn't give me an interview the whole night, like the first day I got there. So that was red flag number one. I just wanted to do a live stream interview about the smart contract development and the token distribution and blah, blah, blah. Get down to the nitty gritty of like the details for like the people that were trying to get involved. And they just didn't want to do that. So after that night, seeing what happened with like the contracts not being triggered and the ETH just being grabbed somewhere in a hardware wallet, like I said, I just booked it, got right on social media, and was like warning people left and right.
So what do you think? I mean, we are in a space with the ability for a lot of people to get scammed. What would be your advice to people out there to, how to spot something like that and how to avoid it?
So this is where I think I could have done more of my own, like the due diligence part, where it comes down to being more easy than we think, is just the research on the team. The background check that you can do without like hiring a private investigator. You can kind of see that the Facebook account and the Twitter account was just created when, their white paper was published, kind of thing. And that's kind of a red flag number one. Their LinkedIn is just them, like an echo chamber. Their team is the only ones that are friends with them on LinkedIn, things like that. It's just created. They're all circle jerking each other by liking and sharing their stuff in their own little, echo chamber. But yep. You could also look back past that, see if you can find other things that they have been a part of. And really it starts with looking at the team, the leadership, the foundation, and not looking so much at like the advisors or the influencers, right? Because like I just talked to the guy and I was just there to take pictures and be like, this is an ICO launch or whatever, but the team, the leadership, you got to look into their background as far as you can with just even Google, and see if you can find anybody that they're friends with or associated with on the social media that aren't a part of the project or team, that you can kind of try to backtrack some of these relations they had to see if they're just bots. Because some of these people in projects, if you can feel like they have these fake digital identities, that's just a huge red flag.
Sure, that's good advice. Thanks for sharing that story. It's a good story there, even though the outcome was terrible. But our REKT podcast, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you to share any of your best crypto REKT stories. What do you got for us?
Whew, I've been wrecked in crypto so many times. All right, I got one or two. I was making a YouTube video, and I was putting together a paper wallet, and I was just like, this is going to be dope, because every paper wallet video I've ever watched was missing like two awesome key points, BIP 138 encryption on top of the private key, and you have to erase your printer's cache data, or you throw out your printer, somebody's just going to go to your printer and print out the cache data. And you think that isn't done frequently, but the deep web is a disgusting place of weirdos that collect some weird stuff, and your private keys could be somebody's odd fetish. So just make sure you're wiping your printer's cache data, even if you aren't using private keys to print. Just do it. It's just like digital hygiene, and none of these videos were doing that. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I was excited. I was putting the video together, and at the time I was just, living in the moment of the videos I was making, because I didn't have like time to do any production or do extra stuff. I actually made my paper wallet video at my day job where I currently worked when I was just getting into crypto. And I was super fucking scared my boss was going to walk in and catch me with like a tripod set up and the work computer, and like I'm like freaking out, but like I managed to make the video and everything. And so anyway, I was doing the paper wallet. I took a screenshot of the paper wallet like you do, right?
Yep.
And then I closed the window. I took a screenshot. I sent Bitcoin to it, took a screenshot to make sure that I had the private key. Then I closed the window and I went to print the file that I screenshotted. The screenshot grabbed everything but the text overlay that is the private key text and the private key QR code. So the backdrop was there, the website image, the Chrome browser, everything was in the screenshot except text overlay. So I immediately lost that private key instantly. I went back, I did control command T to open the new tab again. That went back, and it was just a different private key. It didn't work. It was whatever. So I lost 0.1 Bitcoin back when it was around $400 just playing around making a video. So
ouch.
Yeah, it hurt more and more and more and more as time went on, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I hate that video, and it was like one of my more popular videos too, so every time people commented and liked it, I was just like, I hate this video. But that was just one of the dumb no-brainer things that I did. But something that most people I think do, that I commonly did as well, as somebody who got into crypto and wanted to be like a savant trader in a bull run, like cocky with my private keys out, just look at my private keys, throw it on the exchange, yeah, big portfolio, man, so I just started throwing crypto at stuff left and right, and I got excited when Ethereum forked from Ethereum Classic. And now I have videos on my YouTube channel of this, me on Jack's wallet using Shapeshift to day trade Ethereum into Ethereum Classic, and when one would go up, the other would go down, and I would just move it a little bit before or after the peaks of the tops and lows, and I would earn or accumulate a little bit more of each token. And this was back when ETH was, like what, $10 because of the fork or something, maybe even less. So I was like not doing too bad with how much ETH I had to trade for the Ethereum Classic. So I was running onto an exchange. I was getting excited because I'm like, yo, I'm making money. I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. I'm the best. We're the greatest. And I went into the exchange and I put too many zeros not enough zeros in a buy order and too many zeros in a sell order. And I instantly lost like a lot of money. I don't even want to try to do the math on it, but it was such a rush. I was like, I don't know, dude. I was high for days off of that, man. Like the adrenaline and like the sorrow and everything and anger. I was just like, whoa. It was a rush, dude. Because I don't gamble. I don't bet on things, and I don't trade or nothing. And even if I would have made the amount of money I lost, it probably would have been just as emotional, just maybe 5% or so in one or more other direction. But it was just a rush. I got so involved in trading after that. But after that, dude, I swear I've double checked, triple checked any manual trade I've ever put in. And I just wait. I probably wait too long to where the price changes 5 times before I actually get the click buy or sell from the amount of times I actually check the amount of zeros.
So you don't trade actively now?
Not anymore.
No, after that. All right.
Mm.
That's so when did it, like, was that the moment where you're like, all right, maybe trading ain't for me, or what was that like? Because I feel like everybody goes through this when they get into crypto, where all of a sudden they want to be a trader, and then you either realize you're not, you lose all your money, or there's somewhere in the middle.
I want to say it was the bear market, but I was actually blessed by the fact that Goldman Sachs acquired Poloniex, and I just saw those a huge red flag for all exchanges. I was pretty public about the fact that I predicted the mandatory KYC implementation that they eventually did. And a lot of people reached out and was like, thanks for, telling me to get my coins off there, because other people cannot, because they don't live or have the means to submit the KYC to get it off the exchange now. And I used to use Poloniex for two-day reoccurring loans with my Bitcoin. I would just sit my Bitcoin on Poloniex and loan it for 2% every 2-day reoccurring, and it was awesome because that's the interest I made was what I would trade with and play with. It was like house money. I could always get my crypto back in 48 hours and say, stop lending it, I want my keys. So I wasn't so paranoid, but the moment I saw them acquired by a bank, I ran for the hills. First, the troll box was taken away, and that was like red flag, kind of. They set up the flagpole, and then the acquisition was just it for me. I took everything I had off of almost every exchange. I did use Binance for a little bit, but after I saw the KYC thing take place with Poloniex, I don't know. It was right around the time where Binance too also had to change countries from Japan to where are they at now?
Malta.
Yeah. So when I saw that happen, I mean, I actually kind of was talking to people about Binance getting kicked out of Japan because a week prior it was like Yahoo talking about opening an exchange in Japan for crypto. I was like, you can't compete with them. Binance, you're just a baby. So that's exactly what happened. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going with my gut on this one. Exchanges are fucked. I'm out. Bye. And I ran. And so now I just basically hodl, and I'm using Celsius network to lend instead of things like Poloniex. But I'm more so accumulating and trying to do things like staking and run a masternode, stuff like I can get more involved with my tokens but not have to risk them in trading on exchanges. I'm waiting for the Bitcoin equivalent of a decentralized exchange, as Bitcoin is a decentralized currency.
Where do you think? How long till we see something like that? What do you think there?
1 or 2 more acquisitions of main crypto exchanges by banks. We see 1 or 2 more of these banks gobble up another exchange that I say hurts the community with this mandatory KYC stuff that disenfranchises a lot of people that started doing this for an everyday living, trading and stuff on these exchanges. I mean, that's like Uber getting kicked out of New York. Where are these people going to get jobs all of a sudden? So as soon as these exchanges are acquired by banks and their KYC is implemented, you got to realize the people that built these exchanges were cypherpunks in a sense, or at least crypto knots. The developers were not tech savvy in the blockchain. They were really involved, and I believe they're probably some of the most incentivized to build a decentralized exchange and the most equipped, as they were basically funded to build centralized exchanges that are getting gobbled up. So maybe Poloniex developers meets Binance developers meets the Gemini developers, as they keep getting freaking screwed out of using the babies that they have created to the monsters that bought them off them. It's going to have a common goal, common enemy, and next thing you know, a white paper of some sort for a decentralized exchange that meets the criteria of Bitcoin's decentralized currency. It'll be born of the same nature and anonymous, because they're going to have the same goals as Satoshi did for decentralizing currency. They need to decentralize the power of exchanging currency. And what Binance is doing with their shadow puppet DEX is exactly what people need to be aware of, that they're just stealing terminologies for blanket statements that's not... I don't know how they can get away with it without it being like marketing fraud or something, but it's not a true decentralized exchange.
That's interesting. So how do you purchase? It sounds like you are pretty
I earn
exchange. Okay, got it. Because
I don't have any fiat to buy Bitcoin with, bro.
Okay.
I have no fiat. You want to send me some fiat? I'll gladly find out how to buy it. But I get it from the earn. I just earn it.
That's funny, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to check off the list. I'm like, he can't. There's no way he uses Coinbase. There's no way he uses.
He does it the good old fashioned way.
Yeah, right.
I go to Bitcoin meetups, and if I have to, or the Bitcoin ATMs at my local 7-Eleven right down the street has a Bitcoin ATM. It blows my mind every time I go to buy a Slurpee and I see a Bitcoin ATM. I'm just like, dude, it's so weird.
What's the ratio to Slurpee to people using the Bitcoin ATM? It's like how many Slurpees does it take before you see one?
I think it's just me. I don't think I've ever seen anybody really using it, man. I mean, again, the bear markets kind of disincentivize people, which is completely moronic. I mean, holla at Warren Buffett, you see people running one way, you got to go the other. And if, everybody was running to buy Bitcoin at 20,000 and changed their mind to run the other way, it's weird because these people are the same people who said, oh, Bitcoin's at 20, I'll wait for it to go down. I bet it goes under 5. And it does. And they're going like, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's going to go under 200. Who knows? I'm like,
see, I feel like I'm like a unicorn because I definitely ran to buy Bitcoin at, 15, 18,000. And I'm still running to buy Bitcoin now. Like I've been running to buy Bitcoin for a long time. But you're 100% right. Like that, it's insane. Like the way the human mind works. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's absolute pandemonium, and everybody's taking loans out and selling their house, and it's bananas. And now it's 75, 85% off, depending on what you're looking at. And nobody wants to buy it.
I
it
blame
blows my
the
mind.
mainstream media, dude. 100%.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely.
They're like, our parents getting in the rock music we like. It's like, it's not cool anymore. The media's talking about
gross.
it.
So where do you see as kind of the key to where do we go from here as far as mass adoption?
I like to say it starts at the foundation of a supply chain with the suppliers, and then the suppliers would incentivize merchants to use their supply chain technology with this token and blah, blah, blah. And then I could see the merchants being incentivized to, accept cryptocurrencies or even use them for their employees. Then they would be incentivized to use them at the register or whatever. But it's like we have to start with the suppliers that supply the merchants, then the merchants who pay their employees, then the employees who become the customers of the other merchants. And what supply chain technology is offering right now, especially in the cannabis industry with like Toke's platform, it's mandatory. And the power of having an open ledger that's immutable, that, once we have the Internet of Things that, can take out the human error, because blockchain isn't perfect, right? We still have the, garbage in, garbage out problems, but that's where the Internet of Things, these devices that are going to be designed, can take out that human element of error. That's why we have like smart thermometers in trucks that drive meat across country in case the meat goes bad. Well, sometimes the driver doesn't want to get fired, so he forges that freaking paperwork. It's not on an immutable blockchain. He just says, no, freezer was fine the whole time. And then nobody knows where the meat goes bad because it sits on the shelf. You eat it days after you bought it. Was it your fault? Was it the market's fault? Was it the butcher's fault? Who knows? So with supply chain technology, and again with the cannabis industry, that's where you start. You start with supply chain, and then the merchants, and then the employees, the customers. So we just got to start reaching out to that real foundation, which is, supply chain users, people, and then you can show the companies how it works for payroll, inventory, and everything else.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, well, let's move on. We have you seem like a guy that's got stories upon stories upon stories. We also like to ask our guests of a real life REKT story. So this can be taken any single way that you want. We've heard pretty much a little bit of everything. So the floor is yours.
All right. I guess I'll stick with the finances of REKT. I don't want to get too personal, but it is wrapped a little bit around crypto as well. I went to a conference in Atlantic City, and I didn't really like the conference too much. Felt like everything there was a freaking scam. I found a pirate treasure on the blockchain ICO, and I lost my shit, and I got kicked out. And I just got, I was at a casino in Atlantic City where they had a crypto conference. It was absolutely insane. Yeah. So I just went and got wrecked. And I was walking around, and you could see who was at the conference because they had the badges on and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I got, kicked out. So they took my badge. So I was like, whatever. So I saw a not blackjack, what is it, roulette? Yep. Yeah, roulette table where they spin the wheel and stuff. Mm-hmm. I saw a bunch of people with badges on sitting at a roulette table 2 a.m. And again, I got kicked out at 9. So I started getting hammered a little early. So I walk up to this table and there's an open seat, and I had a bunch of chips, and I didn't really pay attention, and I just was like, black! And everyone looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, what? And it landed on black. I did it. I doubled my money. So I was like, cool. I win. All right, done. So I was like, let's do this again. Black. And it didn't hit. So I was like, whatever. You win some, you lose some, right? And I'm walking away, and somebody muttered something about, that's over $3,000. And I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. I looked down, and I was like, those were black chips. Yo, what? It didn't click at all, because I just was worried about looking at their badges and coming up trying to be like that dude, just being a dick and stuff. And I don't know, man, it was just a lot, right? And I'm just like, all right, whatever, it is what it is. Never gambling again. And now I only do Steam Dice and things on EOS gambling and stuff like that, where it doesn't feel like I'm losing any real money.
That's fantastic. That is a wonderful story. Chamber,
I'm sure that people at that damn table have a better one than me.
Oh yeah, they're like, hey, this guy came up and
they all bet against me. They all bet against me. They were looking at me like, no, this dude's so sloshed. There's no way it can happen twice. They bet against me.
So funny. All right, well that's a good real life REKT story. So let's move on to the news. Chamber, what do you got for us?
Bunch. Ken, did you know that Microsoft wants to help us make our ICOs a success? It's amazing.
Oh, really? Microsoft?
Microsoft. So you're actually going through with the REKT ICO? I told you at 3 Bitcoin I was going to, angel invest into that at any time, dude.
That they're the saviors. They're the heroes we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe not the ones we want.
So does it come up with a little paper clip that's like, I see you have a problem with your smart contract. You need help?
Clippy the clip.
No paper clip, you suck.
Billy Gates coming to the rescue for us. All right, tell us about this.
This is from ccn.com. Microsoft wants to help make your ICO a success. ICOs apparently are not dead. Not when the world's biggest tech corporations are venturing into it. Microsoft Azure, we were talking pre-show. We're not 100% sure how to say this. They're a cloud computing service created by Microsoft. They recently listed Stratus in its product section. The Strat token. So the platform was created in London based off the Stratus Group. It offers web-based applications that enable initial coin offering projects to manage token distribution. It facilitates a secure and flexible payment route that participants use to purchase ICO tokens ahead of the initial allocation.
They built a point-of-sale system for ICOs.
It's amazing.
Great. You're now the middleman for middlemen. I love it.
There you go. So you'll be able to pay with either Bitcoin or Strat. Interesting. So it also goes on to say here, Stratus, per the Microsoft description, has also integrated Changelly. I think it's Changelly. Yeah. Into its application. I know that's a pretty big one. The add-on service enables ICO participants to convert their fiat money or cryptocurrencies into Strat effortlessly.
Changelly is one of the last of the exchanges that you don't have to do KYC on to exchange coins, like Shapeshift. Shapeshift went mandatory KYC, so you can't really easily as do it. Changelly you still can, but I do foresee that happening to them as well.
Very interesting.
So I want to call it right here, right now, like Babe Ruth pointing out to the stands. Microsoft's going to be the first person to launch an ICO on their own platform that they just built for launching ICOs.
Amazing.
That is. That sounds like it could be a thing that will happen.
Woo!
You heard it here first, people.
I like the middlemen for middlemen. And,
I like that.
I think that should be the hashtag for today's show, Chamber.
I like it. Middlemen for middlemen?
Yes. So, all right, here we go. I've got one about our one-time guest, John McAfee. So this is also from ccn.com. John McAfee blows his own horn over Bitcoin price predictions.
Differently.
I think he just blew himself. If anybody gets that Arrested Development reference. John McAfee blows his own horn over Bitcoin price predictions. So basically, what this is about is Jesse Lund, IBM's vice president of blockchain and digital currencies. So now we're talking Microsoft and IBM here in the same episode, same day in the news. Jesse
and
Lund.
They were at Consensus together, for the record, in the same room right next to each other.
Interesting. So he recently expressed his bullish Bitcoin views, and he set a long-term price prediction of $1 million. And he said that target is based on his belief that the higher the price of a crypto asset, the more utility it has. And for this reason, people should be focused less on the moving prices and more on utility. He said, quote, if the price of Bitcoin were higher, there would be more liquidity on the network. We could be having a really different discussion with banks right now, which is interesting because it seems like he's not really understanding the point there, but I digress. So the $1 million target seems to have annoyed Mr. McAfee. He took to Twitter and tweeted the following: people are waking up to the fact that Bitcoin will be $1 million, but when? Someday, maybe 5 years, within a decade? I'm the only one that gave you a hard date, December 31st, 2020. So, obviously, we all know that he has called for $1 million by end of 2020, and otherwise he'll be eating quite the meal. And on Friday, he followed up and tweeted, Jesus, the media yet again, by December 2020, by December 31, 2020 is not an exact date. Let's be clear. I predicted the Bitcoin price would reach $1 million before the end of 2020. That's not saying it will hit that price on that date, which obviously makes sense. But so McAfee is back in the news talking about $1 million Bitcoin. So is IBM. Ken, thoughts?
At least someone's talking about $1 million Bitcoin. I mean, it's nice to hear.
That's right.
It's a nice change of pace, I guess, from like Tone Vase and everybody.
$1,000 Bitcoin does not sound as good.
It just does. I don't know. It depends on your perspective, right? If you just got in, you're just like, ooh, I hope so. If you've been in for a year, you're like, damn. If you've been in for a long while, you're just like, I'm used to this. But yeah, John kind of, I don't know, dude. I don't know why he would have done such a statement other than the fact that it stir up the conversation, which is great. And that's why I like it. And I think that's the point of it. You know, it's such an eccentric statement that the statement itself gets crypto talked about in ways that it wouldn't normally be talked about. And, he nailed it. You know, he gets that conversation going and has the humor, you know, to lighten the mood of its, seriousness. You know, it's like keeping Bitcoin weird instead of making it such a serious, you know, thing. It's not a nuclear weapon, you know, it's a nuclear shield. It's not something, you know, to, you know, go out and be like, you know, you're going to get rich. He's not saying, you know, you're going to get rich. It could go down, whatever in the meantime. But yeah, I'm kind of with him, right? Like, do you see, now I don't know $1 million by 2020, but don't you see that the institution momentum moving into this space, it has not slowed down in this bear market whatsoever?
I would say it's probably picked up over the last 2 months. I feel like it's been really
100%
picking up.
That pressure for the ETF is huge.
Yeah, and that's not going anywhere. The case for Bitcoin fundamentally has never been more bullish, and
Bitcoin forks next year, so he's on that too. We're gonna have half as much rewarded in the supply from the miners, so it's going to cost more to mine, you know, over time. Miners set the price.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. What was you were telling us before the show about something with McAfee on Adult Swim?
I cannot believe more people haven't seen this, but you know what's awesome? People that I know in crypto Twitter and in this community that we have built haven't seen it. But all my normie friends that could care less about crypto, it's all that they have. Like, dude, have you seen this John McAfee thing? It's on Adult Swim. It's hilarious. I'm like, what? Like, you're telling me about things in crypto? Who are you?
Chamber, we got to find this.
Yeah.
It is the best interview he has ever done. It is the most fun interview that has ever been done on him to watch. It's just perfect. It's perfect. And yeah, they touched on everything from him eating shit to his own dick to, hey buddy, the mic's not on, right? Yeah, hey, did you kill a guy? Like, dude, it was freaking hilarious.
That's crazy.
It was every interview that I wanted to see done with him done. So, and he nails it, and we
may have been dethroned for best McAfee interview, is what we're saying.
Yeah, we had a pretty good one, though.
It's so funny, man. It's just...
We'll try to find it and tweet it out.
And they got 4 million, non-coin, pre-coin coiners, no coiners, whatever you want to call them.
Pre-coiners.
Pre-coiners.
Pre-coiners. I like pre-coiner.
That sounds like something Spank Chain would call like people before they get into their blockchain.
Premature coinelation.
But yeah, their audience is huge, and to see him talking about, eccentrically $1 million Bitcoin, eating his own dick, that got him on Adult Swim with millions of viewers that could care less about Bitcoin, kind of now hearing about it, laughing about it, and they're going to check into it because you got to see if this dude's going to eat his own dick in a year.
It's true. I think
TV.
so. We'll try to find that and tweet it out if we can tweet it out. But all right, that will do it for us for the news. We are going to go into an homage to our friends over at Coin Boys, a little take off of their game. We're going to play Shitcoin or Strain.
Smoke weed every day.
So, what this is going to be, Ken, you have mentioned a couple times here that your interest in cannabis stocks, and everybody who has ever listened to this show knows that Chamber is a horticulturalist of his own right. So,
Dr. Green Thumb.
So, what we're going to do here is I have devised a list of... how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you're going to 9 things here. 9 items.
You couldn't come up with 10? I was just...
No.
My OCD hurts.
It was hard enough. So I'm going to... I'm going to ask you whether this is a shitcoin or a strain of cannabis. So I'll ask the question and we'll alternate guessing, and I will see who comes out the victor. So question number 1. If I were offering you some Bay 11, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain? Chamber.
That's a good... That's a good one. That could go either way. I'm going to go strain.
Ken?
I want to say strain too, because 11, it just doesn't sound like a shitcoin would want to throw a number in at the end. I would hope not, but that would make it like cream of the crop of shitcoins if they did. But yeah, I want to go with Bay 11 as well, it being a strain.
You are both correct. Bay 11 is a strain. Question.
I want to taste it.
Item number 2. If I were offering you some Cinex, Cinex, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain?
Who's going first? Me?
Let's go. Let's keep the same order. Chamber,
okay.
You go first.
I'm going to go shitcoin.
Agree. Shitcoin. I wouldn't
incorrect.
I wouldn't smoke it. I don't care. It might as well be a shitcoin for weed. I ain't smoking.
I would not smoke that either.
You are both incorrect. So that is in fact a weed strain. So here we go.
Probably like 7% THC.
Yeah, exactly. Some outdoors booty.
Now, if I were offering you, gentlemen, some fuzzballs, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain?
So my instinct is 100% saying strain. Fuzzballs?
Fuzzballs.
Shitcoin.
But that might be counterintuitive. I'm going to go shitcoin.
Shitcoin.
Both of you are saying shitcoin?
Yeah.
It is, in fact, a shitcoin. Fuzzballs, the shitcoin. Here
What
it is.
does it do? Why?
Want a great gift for your next party? Buy some fuzzballs. This coin is intended for gifting and parties. Or you can buy knickknacks from the fuzz shop, like keychains and bottle openers.
That's
Have a better
amazing.
idea for what to do with fuzzballs?
If I ever create
let the
my own-
creators know.
If I ever create my own strain, I'm definitely calling it Fuzzballs.
Fuzzballs
Alright.
is my next crypto tattoo. I'm getting it on my balls now.
It's actually, I mean, the logo is literally what you would think. It's like these
Fuzzy
fuzz
little balls.
balls with like faces on them. All right. All right. So, question number 4 here. If I were offering you some happy creator, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain? Chamber.
Shitcoin.
Shitcoin. Strain. Happy maker?
Happy creator.
Happy creator? Happy creator? Happy maker.
Chamber, what was your
I'm
official
gonna go
answer here?
Shitcoin.
I think it's a strain, dude. I feel like I've seen that before.
We need final answers from
Final
Ken.
answer for me, yeah, it's a strain. I feel like I've seen this before.
It is indeed a shitcoin. Chamber with takes the lead on question 4. So we have Chamber with 3 points, Ken with 2 points. We have 5 left here. If I were offering you some nebula, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain?
Weed strain.
Yeah, I think that's a indica. That's a strain. Yep.
You are both correct. I was hoping
I
you
know,
might
I'm not-
confuse
you're not gonna-
it with nebulous,
Nope.
so I tried to get you there. You were both too smart for me. We are going on to if I were offering you some platinum GSC, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain?
Platinum.
GSC.
GSC.
Oh, that's a strain.
I'm going strain.
Oh, god damn it, my confidence!
Dude,
That's
you
Girl
would have
Scout
got him.
cookies,
You
bro.
could have made it up
GSC,
there.
as you said GSC, I'm like, yeah, it's Girl Scout cookies. So I was like,
I didn't even think Girl Scout cookies. I was trying to figure out
You
the.
guys, damn it, Ken, you could have made up your deficit there.
well,
Yes,
I
please.
know the community is going to give me that point and
Yeah,
not
you know
him,
what?
so I'll be the victor in the community's hearts.
Chamber, were you gonna say strain?
You know,
We'll give you the benefit of the
I
doubt.
can't honestly say I was going to go one way or another, but the conviction that Ken had made me go that route.
It was
Obviously.
an epiphany.
We'll give it to Ken. I think I will.
So
be
you're
gracious.
not getting the point there?
I
is
will
what
not
you're
take
saying?
that point.
All right, so then we're tied here. We are tied with 4-4.
I should have
That's
got
a
Girl.
hard-
I should have
that's-
got Girl Scout cookies on my
That's
own.
a humble fighter right there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like letting me put my belt back on if my pants fall in a
Yeah.
boxing match or
we,
something. Like,
we battle
So
with
now
honor.
that's
honor.
the difference. If we were talking alcohol, we'd be fighting each other. The weed strains keep us calm.
That's right.
All right, if I were offering you some flavor, would I be offering you a shitcoin or a weed strain? Chamber.
I'm going shitcoin.
I'm going shitcoin with shitcoin.
That is correct. It is actually flavor coin. I obviously left the end off.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, if I were offering you flavor coin, would you smoke it?
Yes.
All right, 2 more here.
All right.
If I were offering you sage, would I be offering you shitcoin or strain?
Shitcoin.
That's an herb. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go shitcoin.
I wouldn't smoke anything called sage, so it has to be a shitcoin.
I think I know it's a shitcoin.
It is a strain.
It is a strain.
Yes.
Fuck. Who would smoke
Not
that?
me.
It is a strain. So
That's such
going,
an unsellable name.
going into the final
Is it tied,
question
by the way?
here. It is tied. Going into the final question. So you both have 5
I'm
correct answers.
gonna give the
out of
pick
8.
to Ken. By the way, I'm gonna let him choose first,
You're gonna let him
and
choose
I'll go
first.
opposite.
Okay, I don't quite know how to pronounce this, so we're gonna try it here. If I were offering you some Cthulhu,
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, it's a.
Am I offering you, Ken, a strain or a shitcoin?
Cthulhu.
You know what it is, right? It's from the book. It's from the.
Yes, it's a like
Who's the author? I can't think of the author now.
You're correct, though.
Yeah.
What are they, like movies on paper?
Yeah, it's like movies on paper. Hashtag movies on paper.
I really don't know which way to go. Yeah. Ken gets the pick.
Ken, you get the first pick.
I want to say strain because it sounds cool as shit. Like, if that's a shitcoin, I'm buying some right now. We're pumping that today. We're pumping it. If that's a shitcoin, we're pumping it today. But I'm going with strain because I want to smoke it too.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going shitcoin.
Ken is locked in with strain. Chamber, you're going shitcoin?
Yep.
And we have a winner. Obviously, you went separate. you went separately. The winner is Chamber. It is in fact a shitcoin.
Whoa!
Well, we're all winners. We're gonna pump it before this podcast airs.
That's
we're all
right.
gonna buy jillions of it,
buy
and then the
into
listeners are gonna buy it, and we're gonna dump it. We're gonna be rich.
Fill
we're
your
all winners.
Cthulhu bags now.
Yeah, that's
we are
H.P.
pumping
Lovecraft. That's what I can think of.
Oh my goodness! So, did I do a good job finding?
I think so. Very good. Very good.
I thought that was about as good as I could do to find shitcoins that sounded like weed.
and strains that I never heard of before.
That I got you. Yeah, that I caught you a little off guard on. That was awesome. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
thought it was
cool.
a really good sneaky thing with the GSC there too. Like,
Yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for our game, Strain or Shitcoin. That's going to do it for our segments. Ken, we just want to give you an opportunity to talk about anything you are working on, your own podcast, anything like that. Where can people find you? The floor is yours.
I'm on the internet, so if you have that, you could use it. I'm on it. Ken with 2 N's. Bosack. There's no L. It's not Ballsack. It's Bosack. Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Monarch Token and Robert Beatles and what they're doing over there with that. I think it's really awesome. Checking out, seeing like what they're partnering up with things like Celsius Network, so you can use your wallet to make some interest holding your Bitcoin there. That's awesome. And yeah, guys, just get out there and use your Bitcoin, use your crypto. Stop poking it with a stick and telling it to do something, and do something with it. You know, go out and buy a flight to wherever you're going. If you're flying anywhere, use Cheap Air. If you're buying something on Amazon, go hang out on cheappurse.io and save 30%. Just use your crypto for something. You know, Bit Refill, order a Domino's pizza or Uber Eats with Dash, save 10%. Just none of those people pay me. I'm just telling you guys to just go out there and use the things that are being built that for this economy before they're underappreciated and it's too late. Get out there and start using your crypto today.
That's awesome advice. I think if we aren't using it, what's the point? Chamber, what are you going to go use it on?
Well,
Porn! I'm going to buy a lot of porn!
bye.
Thanks, Chamber.
Well, I'm actually going to give some of mine away.
Oh, that's right. And we're going to do that right now?
We're going to do that right now.
Okay, so walk the people through.
I'm keeping my clothes on, Chamber. I don't care how much crypto you have.
There's always a number.
You're right. You're right. It's around 1.
So exactly. It's 1 Bitcoin or just 1?
It's not a big number at all.
So, over the course of the weekend, I made a tweet out if anybody wanted to hook me up with some birthday Bitcoin.
People did.
People did. So thanks. Shout out to anybody. Nobody really reached out to tell me they did. Maybe a couple. But
I did.
Yeah, no, you did. But I would say the bulk was anonymous. So thank you to any well-wishers out there. But I said I would split whatever I got. So we ended up getting 0.02444. So I think we talked about like it was better the other day. It was like 100. I think it was like 130, 140 bucks the other day. Now it's about like $100.
But either way, you're giving away now right on here on air. You're going to give away 0.0012 ish.
I'm giving away 0.012222 Bitcoin.
Okay.
And the lucky winner is I'm using T-Wrench or T-Trench.
Yeah, that's what we use for all of our
and
giveaways.
The winner is
Ken Bosack. Oh my god!
Weird. No, the winner.
That's such a coincidence.
Perfect. We got a great winner here at Invest Noir.
Oh yeah, he's dope.
Good buddy of ours. I've actually I interacted with this guy the first time. I think it was on InvestFeed. I think he works for InvestFeed, something like that.
I'm not sure about that.
But I think that's where I first met him, on that platform, and then I think we're Twitter buddies too now. So he's a big cigar guy, I believe. I think
Yes,
he's like a
that
cigar.
is true.
So
Very true.
I like cigars.
Yeah, this guy, you got to get to know this guy because he knows his cigars.
I roll my own.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Fair enough. So at Investoir, we'll message you on. This is going to come out on Tuesday. We'll message you. Just send me your BTC address, and I'll forward that right over to you.
Wow, you're just such a.
Are you doing this through the
full-on-
I'm
Lightning
a full-on
Network?
rapist.
Are you going to do this through Lightning, man? Are you going to open a Lightning channel with them and send it? Or are you just going to do it old school?
Old school,
All right,
man.
so here's my question. Are you on the Legacy or are you using a SegWit wallet?
I'm using Legacy.
Same, bro. Same.
Yeah.
So
Keep
tell
it
us
real.
tell us real quick before we leave. What are your thoughts on Lightning Network and all that kind of stuff?
Ooh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, he doesn't want to know what
guest.
I think.
Yeah, the guest. I don't care what Chamber thinks about Lightning Network.
I do.
Chamber just opened a Tip and Me thing the other day,
Yeah,
and
that's all I got.
about
Apparently,
the
it has to
extent
do
of
with
our
tacos.
Lightning knowledge.
Apparently
Did
it
you
has to do
hear?
with tacos.
Did you hear they just exit scanned with $3.45? You know?
of Satoshi.
Everybody's money in RAM.
That's everybody's Lightning.
That's awesome.
I think the Lightning Network has a lot of potential. It's also something that we have to start building as a community now before it could be encompassed by the legacy system. You know, I try to let people know, like, if we want to start sending massive amount of crypto, we're going to need channels that hold it, and those that do will probably be like, you know, Deutsche Bank or fucking something crazy. You know, the Federal Reserve is going to have a giant Lightning channel, and Coinbase just bought the comparison to Chainalysis, which is incorporated in Binance. So these Lightning channels are just going to be more ways to be harassed, I think, financially. So we have to start opening our channels now with each other. So when the time comes, we don't have to go to Wells Fargo and open a quote-unquote Lightning bank account to use their channel to move massive amounts of money. If you want to buy a house with Bitcoin, you're going to have to find somebody with a Lightning channel that has enough Bitcoin to handle the transaction off-chain. And I think I love what Tip and Me is doing. I think it's an awesome way, and I love that the torch is being passed. And most recently, Wiz on Twitter passed it to Fidelity. You know, it was crazy to see that, you know, they are getting involved now, but I don't know if I want the institutions involved just yet. We should get more involved before we start welcoming the legacy system in. So I think it's awesome. I think everybody should open Lightning channels with each other and play around with it and have fun.
Chamber, let's open some Lightning channels.
I will.
I got a cool.
I will.
Somebody sent me a guide today to do it. And
Yes, I
just
saw
haven't
that.
Looked at it yet, so I'm definitely going to do it. But awesome, man. Ken, thank you so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun. We really appreciate it. We would obviously love to have you on anytime. Chamber, any other parting words?
Don't get wrecked, and that's financial advice.
That's it. Until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
Have a day.